Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel, The Glammed Rebel. I hope everyone's having a good day. Please like, comment, and subscribe for daily updates. The Bold and the Beautiful, Spoilers Friday, September 5th. Ridge's Torment, Eric's Haunting Words, Thomas's Obsession. The Bold and the Beautiful has adeptly crafted cyclical storylines centered around loyalty, betrayal, and romantic indecision. The September 5th, 2025 episode is a prime example, centering on Ridge Forrester's conflicted state, Eric's relentless meddling, and Thomas's unnerving fixation on his parents reuniting. What seems on the surface to be another day in Los Angeles actually reveals deep undercurrents about family, manipulation, and identity. Let's examine this storyline in detail. Eric Forrester's Haunting Words. The episode begins with Eric's influence looming large over Ridge. Eric's advice is less a gentle nudge and more of a demand: abandon Taylor before it's too late. His conviction that Brooke is Ridge's true destiny resounds like a ghostly voice, nagging at Ridge's every thought. What makes this so compelling is the generational weight behind it. Eric isn't just a father giving advice. He is the founder of Forrester Creations, the patriarch whose romantic missteps have shaped the family legacy. When Eric speaks, Ridge hears echoes of his own past mistakes. Eric's words feel cruel in their timing. Taylor has been pushing for a wedding date, openly hopeful, yet Eric seems to ignore her vulnerability. He frames Ridge's relationship with Taylor as a mistake rather than a choice. The undertone is unmistakable. Brooke is irreplaceable, while Taylor is temporary. That judgment not only haunts Ridge, but also casts a shadow over the entire Forrester family dynamic. Taylor Hayes' wedding date pressure. On the other side of the episode is Taylor Hayes, practically glowing with anticipation. She has wine ready, romance in her eyes, and a single-minded determination. Lock down Ridge with a date. Her persistence borders on desperation, but it's not difficult to understand why. Endless interruptions, betrayals, and second-place finishes have marked Taylor's long history with Ridge. She understands the fragility of Ridge's commitment and perceives Eric's words and Brooke's presence as ongoing threats. Taylor's demand for immediacy, set the wedding date tonight, is less about love and more about fear. She wants Ridge to prove, concretely, that he is choosing her over Brooke. Unfortunately, that very pressure pushes Ridge further into conflict. Instead of solidifying their bond, Taylor inadvertently underscores his indecision. Her paranoia that Brooke will win him back ironically makes it more likely. Thomas Forrester's obsession. The most unsettling element of this episode comes from Thomas. His investment in Tridge, Taylor plus Ridge, goes far beyond typical adult child interest. He pushes Ridge with lines like, "Be a man," as if Ridge's entire masculinity is dependent on marrying Taylor. Thomas openly reports back to Taylor, feeding her hope while adding guilt to Ridge's torment. What's disturbing here is how Thomas ties his identity and happiness to his parents' relationship. He insists that their marriage is necessary for his sense of stability, even referencing his depression, dead career, and broken engagement. Rather than dealing with his personal failures, Thomas redirects the responsibility to Ridge and Taylor. If they marry, he believes his life will regain purpose. It's a dangerous delusion, and Ridge can see the warning signs. The writing hints at an escalation. If Ridge fails to marry Taylor, Thomas may snap. His obsessive behavior has led to dark actions before, and the show may be setting him up for another spiral. His fixation transforms his support for Taylor into a potential threat to Ridge's autonomy. Ridge's torment. Ridge is unraveling as he faces the conflicting pressures of his father's voice, his son's expectations, and his fiancée's demands. He doesn't know how to silence the echo of Eric's words. Brooke is your true love. At the same time, he can't ignore Taylor's plea for security. Ridge has always been a man torn between two worlds, unable to live without both women, yet incapable of fully committing to either. The episode captures Ridge's torment with precision. He sits with Taylor, wine in hand, while his eyes betray his conflict. He wants to give her what she wants, but his hesitation is obvious. The longer he delays, the more Taylor's insecurity grows, the more Thomas pushes, and the louder Eric's warning becomes. It's a triangle of pressure closing in on him, suffocating his ability to choose freely. Psychological layers. Eric's manipulation. Eric frames his interference as paternal wisdom, but it is manipulation disguised as concern. His insistence that Brooke is Ridge's destiny robs Ridge of the chance to chart his course. Eric projects Ridge's shortcomings onto his son, viewing Ridge's life as a mirror of his own romantic regrets. While Eric believes he is saving Ridge, he is in fact perpetuating the cycle of indecision. Taylor's fear. Taylor's fixation on setting a wedding date reveals her underlying fear of inadequacy. She is haunted by the idea that no matter what she does, Ridge will always choose Brooke. Her urgency comes from trauma as much as from love. Sadly, her attempt to secure Ridge by force only deepens his uncertainty. Thomas's obsession. Thomas has projected his personal failures onto the relationship between his parents. His demand that they marry is less about family unity and more about self-preservation. He wants their stability to substitute for his lack of control over his life. This dependency is unhealthy, and Ridge knows it. Ridge's paralysis. Ridge has always been paralyzed by choice. The pull between Brooke and Taylor is eternal, and his inability to make a definitive decision has defined decades of storytelling. This episode magnifies that paralysis, showing how every voice around him contributes to his torment. Broader implications for Brooke and Taylor. Eric's favoritism toward Brooke could reignite the Brooke versus Taylor war. Taylor's insecurities are already heightened, and if she senses Eric is actively undermining her, it could provoke another explosive confrontation. Brooke, for her part, may not even have to lift a finger. Eric's meddling could do the work of drawing Ridge back to her. Taylor's insistence on rushing the wedding could also backfire spectacularly. If Ridge feels cornered, he may rebel and retreat. Soap history shows that pressure rarely binds Ridge. It pushes him into Brooke's arms. Predictions. 1. Ridge postpones again. Instead of setting a wedding date, Ridge may stall. His torment will likely manifest as indecision, frustrating Taylor and inflaming Thomas. 2. Thomas escalates. Thomas's obsession may spiral into manipulation. He could scheme against Brooke, attempt to sabotage Eric's influence, or even lash out physically if Ridge resists. 3. Eric and Brooke alignment. Eric's haunting words suggest he will align with Brooke, potentially pushing her to intervene and reclaim Ridge. His actions could reignite the central love triangle with new ferocity. 4. Taylor's breaking point. If Ridge hesitates too long, Taylor could unravel. Her desperation may turn into anger, creating another round of heartbreak and division. Conclusion. The September 5th, 2025 episode of The Bold and the Beautiful distills the show's essence into one tormented hour. Ridge is caught between Eric's manipulation, Taylor's desperation, and Thomas's obsession. Each voice pulled him in a different direction, leaving him paralyzed. The stakes are enormous, not only for Ridge, but for the entire Forrester family dynamic. As viewers watch Ridge sip wine with Taylor, haunted by his father's words, they know the cycle is far from over. The torment is not just Ridge's, it belongs to the audience too, who remain trapped in this eternal triangle. Yet, that's the genius of the soap. The torment keeps us watching, wondering who Ridge will choose, even when we already know the answer. He may never truly choose at all. You are welcome to share any video requests in the comments. I will make a video about it. Stay connected with the Glammed Rebel for all the latest updates, spoilers, and deep dive recaps. See you in the next video. Stay safe and healthy. May God keep you safe. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell button for daily updates.